virtual tours, they are now the new norm of the day. They are very interactive, personal, and they give total real life tours. And the quality of experience depends greatly on who your guide is. And I am sure that Valuda is going to do a great justice today in this virtual tour. And as we know that with COVID-19 and social distancing measures, travelers are now confined to their respective homes. So the demand for indoor activities and exploration is on rise. So several organizations, they have come up with online tours and experiences so that the quest for discovery remains unhindered, shifting only from physical to the virtual. And from using 360 degrees panoramic views to holding online sessions, it helped viewers enjoy beautiful locations digitally and experience the joy of traveling from the comfort of the house. And as more people become open to this activity, we can look forward to the quality and variety of the virtual tour content to increase. So without any further ado, as we discussed at Seeing is Believing, I'll request Dr. D.K. Agarwal, President PhD Chamber of Commerce Industry, to kindly give the presidential address so that we can officially start this webinar. Over to Dr. D.K. Agarwal, please.
Thank you, Dr. Jitender. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Very happy to be here today. A very warm welcome to each one of you, and my special welcome to Mr. Gaurav Kumar, who is founder tourhq.com. He is an economics graduate from St. Stephen's College, Delhi, and also an MBA from IIM Bangalore. After working for 20 years in banking, he founded this company, the tourhq.com, to help the travelers to get the best out of their holidays from sitting from their home. So we are all very excited, and I can see the guide. I also welcome Mr. Valerio, who is our guide today, who will give us a first-hand experience of a live tour of Venice. We all know this Venice is a truly a very serene city. A lot of us would like to visit Venice. Even if we want to visit Venice now, we cannot go there because of various travel restrictions. This is a city where we heard that the gondola rides in the canal, and it is known for one of the best touristic destination. There was a report which says in the peak times, the tourists are 12 times more than the locals. I mean, more than the residents there. So it is a place which is flooded by tourists. And in last 6 months, there have been a lot of issues. There have been flood. And after that, this COVID issue is there. So if somebody wanted to visit Venice, how he would do that? So now the technology has come to a rescue. And thus this miracle of internet and digital technology is making sure that we can visit Venice. We can have this wonderful view of gondolas in the canals. So the technology is making it possible, and we can enjoy our holidays. We can experience the joy of seeing the scenic beauty in Venice by sitting at our home, by sitting comfortably from the luxuries of our home, without having that hustle and bustle of, being in the line, traveling, or booking the flights, and sometimes the tickets are not available. Booking the hotels are not available. So all those things are not there here. You can enjoy the best beauty of this place, and that too with this. I always feel that if you are seeing a match, being in the stadium, sometimes you don't even get to see that, the real thing. But when you are watching it on TV, you see it in a better way, be it a cricket match or a football match. So similarly, the experience, the digital experience, and here right now it is not digital. In fact, it is the online. The guide would be having his camera, and he would be taking us to different places in Venice. So this concept, I must congratulate Mr. Gaurav Kumar for coming out with this wonderful concept. And in fact, I must tell you that Mr. Gaurav is son of our very senior member, Shri Dhanendra Kumarji, who is who has been a civil servant. He was the first chairman of Competition Commission of India. He was also the former executive director at World Bank. So he has been guiding us, helping us even in PhD in number of ways. And when he told me that his son has started this activity, and when I got to know about this, I was really amazed. The kind of activity is doing, and I thought that why not to share the benefit of this experience with all our members. And today it has become a reality when we would be touring this Venice city through this technology. And Mr. Valerio, who is our guide, is going to show us all this. So I will not take much time, but I'm sure that this is one of the place, and they have many other places where we can tour, and our entire family can have that experience and that joy of this online tour. So we should take full advantage of this. And I'm very sure that our members, after experiencing this, maybe we would have more and more online tours. And this COVID-19 pandemic, which is troubling us, this kind of a tour is going to energize us, is going to give us more energy, more motivation. And we are very thankful to Mr. Gaurav for bringing this new concept. And I'm sure that we are all going to benefit by it. So over to you, Mr. Gaurav, and thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for your kind words. In fact, you have actually begun with a very positive note. And since this is a new normal, I'm sure that gradually we will be, get used to new concepts. Now I will request Mrs. Radha Bhatia, the chairperson of our tourism committee, PhD chamber, to kindly share her few words over this virtual tour new phenomenon. Over to Mrs. Bhatia, please. Madam, please unmute.
Bhatia ji, you have to unmute.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Well, welcome to the first of its kind webinar, Marketing the Destination on the Social Media. I think today is the time when we can just market everything on the social media, which people have time to go through and see and decide. Everybody sitting at home due to COVID has been badly affected, and everybody is itching out to travel. I think it is important that we do such more seminars and spread the word so that the planning can be done initially. PhD always takes the first step forward in doing new things. Innovation is the most important thing today for revival, for survival, and being prosperous. I think I would not take much of your time because the presentation would be interesting. So let's go over for the presentation and back to Dr. Jitendra Singh.
Thank you, ma'am. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much, ma'am, for your kind words. Now request Mr. Gaurav Kumar, the CEO and founder of tourhq.com, to kindly take over this session, please. Over to Gaurav.
Thank you, Mr. Singh. Thank you, Mrs. Bhatia and Mr. Agarwal. I'll just give you a very quick background on TourHQ. So TourHQ started in 2012. It's a travel marketplace that connects travelers to tour guides around the world. So for example, if you were planning a trip to Venice, you could have booked Valerio through TourHQ to give you the tour when you were there. He would have made sure that you had an authentic local experience and that you really had a good time there and learned something new and spent your time and money well. But obviously with the COVID pandemic hitting, we found that all the travel was cancelled around the world. And, so travel was cancelled, people were under lockdown. Places where people were not under lockdown. So what we figured out is that even if you're not under lockdown, you cannot go to another city. And even if you can go to another city, the international borders are shut. And so you cannot go to another country. And even once the international borders open up, there'll be people at high risk, the elderly or with other high risk diseases, that they should not travel right now. So therefore, we know that we could figure out that the world needs to change. Secondly, as the world starts opening up, as the lockdown is lifted, people or guides can exit their houses and walk around, but the travelers would not be able to come that easily. Therefore, we have come up with this concept of online experiences, which are real-time experiences, which our expert guides can give to travelers around the world who can enjoy it. And this is what you will experience. So since you'll experience it, I don't have to explain it in a whole lot of detail. But I'm just going to share with you a 2-minute clip which will explain to you a little bit of the kind of experiences that you can have. And after that, I'll hand it over to Valerio. I'm just going to be sharing my screen with you. Just a second.
I will show you Miwa 18. I will show you the Umschlagplatz. And I will also show you original elements of Jewish ghetto wall. I will tell you about this incredible history. I will tell you about important people like Jan Karski. He is thinking how to stop Holocaust. And I'm thinking how to provide you this tour. My name is Artur Górniewski from Warsaw.
Hello, my name is Jindra and I'm a guide living outside Stockholm in Sweden. Today on this tour at Tour HQ, I would like to share with you some of the farm living, some of the nice farm animals. You will see them, you will be able to hear them. I will be able to pet them for you. And then I will show you some nice prices inside of Swedish houses. You can see behind me over there.
I'm just talking to you in front of the Treasury, the most famous monument here in Petra.
If you want to experience your first flamenco experience, or if you are a beginner, I am your teacher. Come to me. Enjoy this virtual travel to Sevilla, Spain.
Hi dear friends, we are Katya and Nikita, local guides from Moscow.
Hello, Buzangola. My name is Manistri and I'm from Bhutan.
Hi dear friends, I'm Tanya and I'm a guide in Baikal area.
My name is Michael Adaya and I am a naturalist tour guide in Costa Rica.
Hello, my name is Marcos.
Hi, I'm Yumi.
I am Amir.
I'm Wendy.
Michel from Ghana. My name is Husseini.
Hi, I'm Leandro.
I'm Keiko.
My name is Desiree. Everybody calls me Desi. I'm from Lima, Peru.
Your tour guide from Belgrade. And I'm a tour guide in Berlin.
I'm Rafaela from Naples.
I'm from Bergen, Lima.
This is Kevin Zulu, a guide from South Longa National Park.
Welcome to Oslo, Norway.
All right, so that's just to give you a sense of, this is all over the world. You can sit from your house and have a local experience all over the world. It's a live interactive experience with the guides. And with that, I'd like Valerio, over to you. Why don't you show your lovely city?
Hello, welcome everybody in Venice. And as you can see, today is a beautiful day. It's a bit cloudy, so it's not that hot. And as already introduced, I'm one of the guides of HQ Tours from Venice. I was born and bred here, and I'm very proud to show you my city.
If today everybody can put a screen on active speaker, then we will have a bigger screen so that we can watch better. This is an advice that everybody can put it on active speaker. So we will have a much bigger screen and we can have a better view.
Yes, and then I will switch to the front camera after my short introduction. Thank you for the suggestion. And today I chose for you a very special place. This is the Rialto Fish Market in the very center of the city. And it's definitely one of the oldest markets here in town. So let's have a look together. Let me switch now the camera to the front view. As I mentioned, we are in the very center of the city. This is more or less the middle of the Canal Grande with the beautiful palaces. On the right, you see one of the most beautiful, the one behind the water bus approaching now. This is Kuduro, a beautiful Renaissance building on the canal, a real hidden gem in the city. And the market, as you see, there are several seagulls because they are attracted by the fish smell. They're trying to steal some fish from the fishmongers. And this is, as I said, one of the oldest markets in Italy, all over the world, actually. And let's say that since 800 years, generations of Venetians came to this place, the very center of the city, to buy fish and to buy fruits and vegetables. So these stalls are definitely historical, and most of the fish you can see here is definitely the fish we take from the Adriatic Sea. So you have some seafood, you have also fish from the Mediterranean. This is a tuna fish, sliced. You have also fish from the Atlantic, so salmon and shrimps and other kind of fish, mostly actually from the sea, the warm sea of the Mediterranean. So this market, actually, I always bring tourists here also during live tours because this market is in danger. I mean, just to give you an idea, now we will see there are around 15 stalls, so 15 fishmongers coming here every day from Tuesday to Saturday. So it's open every day except Sundays and Mondays. But consider that in the 60s, there were over 40 sellers, 40 stores. So it was much a bigger market. This is actually, the crisis of this market is due to the change in social habits. I mean, there are less and less housewives and also restaurants. They don't come very often anymore here. They do from the distribution, from the main distribution, they buy the fish. So the market is in crisis, but I strongly suggest tourists, especially those one not staying in a hotel, but staying in a flat, to come here early in the morning to enjoy this beautiful snapshot of real Venetian life, buy the fish and maybe cook it at home, trying maybe some Italian recipes. So it's not very crowded. There are far less tourists, as you can see. But the people you see here, they're actually local Venetian buying fresh fish, as they did in the last 800 years, I would say. Let me show you this very big fish. Before a seagull was trying to steal some fish directly, fresh fish. So this is not only a fish market, but as I mentioned, also vegetable and fruit market. And consider that all the fish, all the products are brought here by boat. So the fish directly early in the morning from the lagoons, from the Adriatic Sea, and also the vegetables are coming from Venice Island or from some islands in the lagoon that are producing very special vegetables with a very special taste, because you can imagine the islands in Venice where we grow these vegetables are very special. They have a very special bioclimate, so it's a salty environment with fresh wind from the Adriatic Sea, and then you have definitely very tasteful vegetables. So let's move now to the fruit and vegetable section. Of course, we don't have mangoes because I know in India mango is the most popular fruit, and we don't have mango in Europe. But we definitely are now in summertime, so we have peaches, apricots, plums, watermelon. Watermelon now the season is starting because it's summer. We see pepperoni, tomatoes, cherries. So especially in this season, it's a paradise of colors. No, you see all the colors of the summer, including lemons, kiwi. Actually, it sounds exotic. It sounds not Italian, but Italy, you probably don't know, is one of the biggest producers of kiwi. Even if it's not a traditional fruit, the Italian weather, the Italian climate is very good for kiwis. So actually, the production of kiwi is very, very big in Italy, and I personally like a lot kiwis actually. Now in summer, I really love watermelon. I suppose you like it as well. And well, it's a really a nice snapshot. It's a great place to make pictures, but especially if you will come to Italy and you rent a flat rather than taking an hotel, it is definitely a very nice place to buy some fresh food like fruits. So these are little peppers, Italian spicy pepper, basilicum to make some good pasta with fresh tomatoes. So I think you can get the inspiration if you want to try some Italian recipes. Here there are still some fishmongers shouting out the today catch. And this part of the city, as you said, is very popular in the morning. Then in the evening, it's changed completely. All the shops that you see here are closed. They are not closed because they are not in business, but because they turn out to be a bar. So actually, this is also a very lively area in the evening. As you can see here, there is a traditional wine bar in Venice. So in the night, from I would say 5 o'clock in the afternoon, this is a place where the youngsters are gathering and of course drinking a lot of good Italian wine, and sometimes there are some concerts as well. It's definitely very, very popular among students and I would say youngsters in general. So now actually the market is closing because at noon it will be closed. So some sellers, they sold out everything already. So this one, for instance, is closed, and all the others will close in 1 hour. So that's why I took the opportunity to come here. As you can see, if somebody of you came already in Venice in the past year, you do remember we drink a lot of wine. I mean, definitely this is one of the area of Italy where wine is a very favorite drink. Some people, you probably see from the tables, they're drinking something red or orange. And this is actually the most popular drink here in Venice, called spritz. And spritz is actually made out of wine, sparkling wine, white wine in particular, because around Venice, actually, this is a region of white wine rather than red. Red wine, you can find it in other regions in Italy, like Tuscany, for instance. You probably heard about Chianti, but here, definitely white wine is the most popular, and Prosecco in particular is the one we drink a lot in Venice. I mean, considering spritz is supposed to be an aperitivo time, so it should be drunk around 6 in the afternoon. But even if now it's 11:30 noon, people are already starting drinking some spritz with Campari or with Aperol. So there are several variations. This is another shop I want to underline. This is called Casa del Parmigiano, so the house of the Parmigiana cheese. This is a family-owned shop from 1936. The same family is running this business. It is also listed as one of the historical shops here in Venice. Unfortunately, I mean, virtual tours are great, so you can see everything. You cannot smell. That's the problem. So I can smell for you, but already from here, you definitely smell a very strong and pleasant smell of cheese. And I'm sorry you cannot experience that, but believe me, it's definitely something very pleasant.
We are experiencing through you.
Yeah, that's one of the limits. I mean, virtual tours are definitely something exceptional because you can travel virtually to Venice as you're doing now, but there are some limits. Of course, you cannot drink a glass of wine here, and you cannot taste some very good cheese. But this is like a preview of maybe your coming holiday. I do believe these virtual tours can be also interesting not only for the tourists themselves, but also as a preview for people interested in coming to Venice. They do want to know a lot of local aspects of the city. They want to ask questions, also logistic questions, suggestions. So, yeah, I listened to your very interesting speeches some minutes ago, and I agree with you. Definitely, these tours are something amazing, something that probably I would have never think about some years ago. And they are very important with the COVID, so now, this year. But I do believe that this kind of tours will remain. So, of course, I will continue doing real tours with people, meeting the people in the town. But I do believe that there will be maybe a slight reduction in terms of requests. But I feel confident that people will be interested in having a sort of virtual experience before coming to Venice. So this is something that you, as working in this business, you should probably develop together with the guides, because I do believe there will be demand in such sense. So let's go back to this church. This is also, as I said, Rialto is one of the most ancient parts of the city where Venice was developed. I cannot talk about all the history of Venice because we have limited time, but consider that this church is considered the first church in Venice. The legend is saying that it is date 421. So actually, it's supposed to be founded over 1,500 years ago. We know that the church we see now, the bricks are definitely from the 12th century. What is interesting is the clock. You see there is a clock. Let me try to zoom a little bit. So the clock, it's probably slightly different from the clocks you're used to see. It is divided in 24 hours. And this is actually the Venetian way. You will see all the historical clocks, they're not divided in 12 hours, but in 24. And some of you probably already recognize the numbers are written in Roman numbers, not Arabic numbers that we use all over the world. So for instance, at the top, it is written 24, and then if you know the numbers, I mean, the number 1 is the one on the right, like the normal clocks we have a 3, but now here we have the 1. Before the 1 is like an I. Above the 1, you have 24. 24 is written XX and then I. That's the Roman way. This is the Roman way to write 24. And you will see this one, for instance, in St. Mark's Square, where I will try to end this tour. And that's, I would say, the Venetian way of clocks. So now we are moving to Venice. You see quite a lot of people, but let me explain you. I mean, you know that Italy has been impacted by the COVID as the very first country after China, I would say. And we experienced 2 months of complete lockdown. So if I would have brought you here 2 months ago, 3 months ago, you would have seen nobody, just a very few people. The good news is since 1 month, the lockdown is over. Since 2 weeks, the internal borders of the European Union are open. So we are now having the first tourists, mostly from Italy, but also the first Germans, for instance. Some French are coming. Germany is not far away. You just cross the Alps. Most of the Germans are coming by car, actually. And I feel positive. I think this year there will be a slight recovery, but of course, I mean, the tourism industry will be impacted. And you see that nobody's wearing a mask. This is because since 2 weeks it's not mandatory anymore. So some people are wearing it, but it's not compulsory anymore outdoor. It is compulsory if you enter. If you enter to a shop or if you enter in a supermarket, for instance, you have to wear a mask. So you have to keep it in your pocket, definitely. And it's also mandatory on the public buses. So on the water buses, you know that we don't have buses, we have boats actually. You cannot board without a mask. So these are still the restrictions or the safety instruction that you have to follow. But the situation is actually, it has improved very much. I mean, actually, we don't have new cases in this region since 1 week. And also the number of casualties is dropping. Actually, in Italy, the only region with some issues now is still Milan, but the rest of Italy is going to the right direction. So let's cross fingers. I'm quite a positive person, generally speaking. So before going down from Rialto Bridge, let me give you the view, because I was skipping that. So the Rialto Bridge, as you see, it's a very large bridge with shops on it. When it was built in the 15th century, these shops actually, they were merchant trading houses. So the place where the merchants were doing the deals. Venice, you know, used to be a superpower in the Middle Ages. That's why it's so beautiful. It used to be so rich. And that was actually the commercial hub. You can imagine Venice like New York, probably, in the 15th century. It was really the center of the world, especially for trade. And it was the link, the hub between Middle East and Northern Europe. So all the trades were done here, close to this bridge, actually, in this area. Let me show you also the other part of the bridge. So there are 3 sections. One side facing the canal, the central one, with the historical shops. And then you have the other side of the canal. In this direction, if you continue navigating through this canal, you will end up in St. Mark's Squares. I will do it. I will end up in St. Mark's Squares, but I will do by walking, so I will take a shortcut. I'm very happy to see so many people because This is normally one of the most crowded area, and I'm already having issues in making a picture now because the people are here to try to take pictures because it's a very scenic, it's a very panoramic point of view. So I'm very happy to see all these tourists making selfies. This is something new that I haven't seen since months. So it means that what I'm saying is true. I mean, I do believe the tourism will recover very soon in Venice. Actually, Venice last year and probably the next future is impacted by the contrary, is impacted by over-tourism, too many tourists. So I must be honest, I'm really enjoying now this moment because it's a Venice that I never experienced. In the past weeks, I was walking through a Venice that was only lived by the Venetians, and that was something new. I never seen Venice without tourists. So honestly, I enjoyed a little bit of break, and I'm very happy that the tourists will come back soon. As you can see, the souvenir shops are already open, so everybody are ready to start recover again. The city itself is very strong. You probably remember in November last year there was a huge flooding. Very much it was already with COVID, but believe me, last November it was very dramatic what happened with the flooding. I mean, this area was covered with at least 50 centimeters of water, so there was we had a very bad impact. But a positive message is the fact that after 2 days, it was amazing to see the city recovering very, very fast. I got impressed, I would say moved by the solidarity. So everybody was helping each other. I personally helped the bar that is downstairs my house, and I worked very hard actually to help him clean. And for instance, schools were closed, so all the students were helping the neighborhood shops, helping all the bars, all the shops to clean out, to dry out all the shops. It was something very nice. It was something very nice and moving to see how Venice is actually, the Venetian people are very strong. Yes.
Yeah, the signal is getting a bit weak. I have a feeling the number of tourists are increasing, so it might be causing a bit of thing. So I think
yeah, I can repeat. So actually, the number of tourism, I didn't say that, but I can tell you now. Before the COVID, I talk about over tourism. What does it mean? That the number of tourists is too high and is impacting very badly the city. Just to give you an idea, in Venice we have 55,000 residents. So actually, not a huge number. It's like a little town. But last year, the total number of tourists was 30 million, 30 million. So you can imagine what does it mean, 30 million tourists in a city with 55,000 residents. And that was a huge impact. The main problem is that out of these 30 million tourists, 20 million are day trippers. So there are people coming just for 1 day without overnight stay. So it means that the city is suffering because it has to provide services like, for instance, something very basic, the garbage collection. I mean, if a tourist is coming here for 1 day and is drinking a bottle of water, this bottle of water in plastic has to be collected and recycled, and that is a cost. But if this tourist is not like spending 1 or 2 or 3 nights in the city, is not providing any added value. So that was quite an issue. So I suppose in the future there will be some rules and some changes. While, for instance, another tourist, probably from India, that is staying at least 3-4 days, is definitely like paying the tourist tax, is definitely supporting the local economy with restaurants and the overnight stay. So at the end of the day, it is an added value for the city. So this is the huge number. So let me know if the connection sometimes could be weak because, as you see, Venice is a maze, and in some points of the city, the connection could be for
yeah. So Valerio,
so let me know if something is wrong.
Valerio.
Yes,
Yeah,
I'm here.
connection is a bit weak right now, and because of that, I think it'll be better if you just walk a bit slowly, maybe, so that the image is not so jerky. Hopefully, the connection will get better soon.
Yeah, let me go to a bigger.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I do the tours in a specific route that I tested. And today I wanted to make you a surprise and make a new route. Yeah, and I think the connection should be good here, but I wanted to show you the Rialto fish market because this is something you have to do. You can do it only in specific times. And is it better now?
Much better.
Okay, very good. So in 10 minutes, we will be in Samar Square, and I know that the connection is very good. Of course, I'm talking, if you have any questions or specific questions or questions you don't dare to ask normally, you can ask me now. Okay. So now we are making the most touristic route from Rialto to San Marco. You see maybe some international brand like Klein here, or Guess, which is a fashion brand. And normally I never walk through these colors because yeah, they're very, very crowded. But now you can do it. I'm enjoying a lot. I saw a question, how many Chinese tourists? Well, this is booming. I don't have a specific figure, so I don't want to tell you like a number because I really don't know. Definitely out of these 30 million tourists, I would rather consider at least 500,000 of, because China is a huge country, and Italy and Venice in particular, it's like a dream destination. So every middle-class Chinese, if he's going to go to Europe, definitely Venice is the place you have to visit. So this will increase a lot, I think. Immediately after the COVID, I think there will be a further increase of Chinese tourists. Somebody is asking me to have a gondola experience. Yes, you are, yeah, it's not yet available, but I'm already in contact with a gondola guy, so a guy able to own a gondola and able to row, which is not very easy. I mean, I'm trying to learn, but I'm really bad in that. And yeah, probably one of the ideas for the next tours could be like a gondola tour virtual, even if, yeah, I think gondola should be experienced live. So thank you. I see people are saying it's a beautiful place. Thank you very much. I do hope you will come. I mean, you will have the opportunity to visit. Okay, so somebody's asking about Trenitalia, which is the state company for railways. The rail connections, the rail system in Italy is one of the best in the world. We have high-speed trains. So I suppose, especially you coming from India, I mean, from far away, if you come here, you want to see Venice, but also other cities. And just to give you an idea, you can reach by train, high-speed train, Florence in 2 hours and a half from city center to city center. And in 3 hours and a half, you can reach Rome. In 2 hours and a half, Milan, or even Naples, you can reach it in 4 hours. So definitely, it's a very comfortable place. It's a comfortable means of transportation by train. I love trains because my father used to be a railway worker, so I love trains in general, but believe me, in Italy, it's definitely a very good means of transportation. And the question was if the Trenitalia is working now. Yes. I mean, since 2 weeks, there is full service. So you have like 25 trains to Rome every day. So actually, every half an hour, you have a high-speed train going to Rome. So yeah, it's a very good service, and the service is back in operation. Let me see if there are some other questions. Yeah, Gurav is saying that we can customize the tour. I mean, in this case, I decided for you, but if somebody wants to visit like a specific place, maybe a place where he fell in love with his wife, or I don't know, a specific place of interest, we can do that. There are just some limits. I cannot enter a museum because I need a special authorization, but outdoor I can go everywhere, of course. Okay, I think I'm getting lost as all the tourists. So because I wasn't following the route, but we will. This is part of the fun in Venice, not getting lost, and you are experiencing that with me now. I will find my way. Don't worry. That's part of the fun. I mean, Venetian maze. You don't really need a map. You just walk, and you will end up always in a very nice place. Yeah, I think I found my way. It's very. I mean, especially when I talk during normal tours, it happens that I get lost because if you don't follow the sign. Okay, we are very close now. Let me see if there are other questions. Another one. When can I get some Marinella ties? Okay, Marinella is you mean Marinella as a brand or Marinella as a kind of? Here we are. Can you please specify? Because I remember there is a Marinelli, which is a brand of ties, jackets, or Marinaio, it's like a tie with stripes, like the gondola guys you will see here. So let me know. Okay, we are exactly behind San Marco. And as you can see on the top, there are some renovation works that have been stopped during the COVID because we are behind one of the buildings facing the Samar Square. So we need to cross that portico and you will end up as a surprise to Samar Square. And now these renovation works will be ended soon. These are all the gondolas that you can see. Most of them are parked because there are not yet so many tourists, and gondola guys are waiting for tourists to come. So get ready because in 2 minutes you will enter the most beautiful square in the world, I would say. I mean, Italy and other cities, I mean, all over the world are beautiful squares, but I would say definitely that San Marco is one of the most beautiful for sure. So here we are.
Here we are.
Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Beautiful.
Here we are. This is San Marco with the bell tower, and that's the very center. That's, I mean, if Rialto used to be the commercial center of Venice, that was definitely the political center of Venice, where it was built and designed to impress visitors. I mean, it was done that in the 14th century and is still impressing all the visitors now in the 21st century. Why it is called the Piazza San Marco? I mean, if you look on the map, you will not find any other piazza. Piazza is actually the translation of square. But piazza in Venice, there is only one, and this is Piazza San Marco. All the other squares, also the squares we passed now, they're called differently. They're called campi. Campi means field, because that were very practical places, field in the sense that they were really field. I mean, they were not paved, they were growing vegetables. There was a well to collect the water. Piazza here is different. Piazza was actually a celebration place. It was a place to show off the majesty and the power of Venice, especially in the 15th century, when Venice was really a superpower in the known world. I mean, at least in Europe, it was actually a very influential power in the European politics and definitely in the commerce. So let me make a 360 degree view. So this is the Basilica of San Marco and the church tower, the bell tower. These are the Procuratie Nuove, called like that because here procuratori were working, so actually the administration of the Republic were offices, bureaucratic offices, administration offices of the Republic. This is the newest part built in the 19th century by Napoleon. It was started by Napoleon. When Napoleon conquered Venice, he demolished the San Gimignano church here and he made his place, his own palace. Then in 1810, Venice was given with a treaty to the Austrian Empire. So for 60 years, Venice was belonging to the Austrian Empire. It was under Austrian rule. And here there used to be the apartment of the emperor, of Austria, Ferdinando, and the princess of Austria. They were staying here. So it's a neoclassical palace. And these are the Procuratie Vecchie. As I mentioned, they are making some renovation works. This building is owned by Generali insurance company. In the past, there used to be the offices of this big international insurance company called Generali. Now they're making, they're not making an hotel, luckily. They're making a cultural center. And I'm very curious because the location is amazing. And I'm very curious of which project, they will develop, and I'm looking forward to visit inside this building because I've never been. Okay, let me see some other questions. Actually, you cannot, it doesn't happen very often that you see an empty square like this, so it's actually a beautiful view now. Normally, it's definitely more crowded. Let me see some questions. I see a greeting. Somebody been in 2017, so I think Rashmi, you had very good good memories. Somebody saying that Venice is romantic as Paris. Definitely, I would say more romantic than Paris. And somebody's mentioning about face mask.
Beautiful.
Yeah, they're beautiful, and he's asking for a suggestion where to buy. Yeah, of course, some of the tourist shops, they're selling very cheap products. Some of them are even from China. But definitely there is a shop that I would suggest, which is called Kamakana. They're making the artisanal masks. They're very beautiful, of course, and it is the same shop used by Stanley Kubrick. If you remember the movie Eyes Wide Shut, the last movie of Stanley Kubrick, and his wife, they're wearing some masks. Actually, these masks are have been bought because it's one of the most important and the quality is nice. So if you want to buy the same mask of Tom Cruise, you should buy from that shop, actually. What you see here, let me get closer. This is famous for the historical cafe. This one is one of them. It's called the Caffè Quadri. It is definitely an historical place since the 18th century. Some of them, some of these bars are the historical bars. Here there is the Caffè Quadri, farther on Caffè L'Avena, and over there, let me go closer, there is Caffè Florian. Caffè Florian is the oldest cafe in Italy since 1720. So this year, there will be in December, I believe, there will be the 300 years celebration. So I'm very curious. Hopefully I will get an invitation for the party. I suppose they will do an open party, in the square. Let's see. It will be end of December, so it will be a bit freezing. But I'm very curious. And, it's the place where Lord Byron, for instance, the British poet, was coming. It's famous for intellectual life. It was centuries. Talking again about movies, you probably saw one movie with Matt Damon called The Talented Mr. Ripley. If you remember this movie, you remember that Matt Damon actually killed a friend of him, and there is a very long scene here when he's talking with the father of the killed friend. They're really talking in these little tables. Today, I think it's the day off of Florian, so it is closed. But as you can see, it's really impressive. It's all the decoration is the original one from the 18th century, from 1720. Okay, let me go a bit farther because I want to give you some details about the basilica. And let me know when our time is off because I keep on talking. We can keep on talking for hours. I think we still have 10 minutes, right? Because I want to show you something special.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the connection is very good here, no? Because it's open. Look at the seagull looking to steal some sandwich from the guest. I mentioned why it is called Piazza. That's the only piazza in Venice. It is called San Marco because San Mark, is the patron saint of Venice, and that was linked to a legend because, of course, Venice in the early Middle Ages, all the conditions to become a superpower. He had very a very interesting port, easy to defend. It was already a very important trading hub. It had a very interesting political system giving stability. Something was missing. They needed a patron saint. They needed a legend to build up a myth, to build up a story. And this legend was coming from San Marco, because San Marco used to be one of the first saints according to the Catholic region. And the legend is saying that San Marco, during a dream, he met an angel, and this angel told him, well, you will have a very difficult life, you will die, of course, because of your religion, but your body will rest forever in a city, in a lagoon, which will become very famous. That was Venice. Of course, it was a legend. But the Venetian merchants in 1821 made this legend true. So they've been to Egypt, that was already a trading partner of Venice at that time, and they stole, actually, they literally stole the body of San Mark that was buried in Alexandria in Egypt. And this mosaic that I'm trying to zoom now, it's showing you how the Venetian merchants stole the body and they were able to bring it back to Venice. As you can, I don't know if you can see because the light is not perfect now, but you see there is like a box with the body inside, which is opened by two Venetian merchants on the left. On the right, you see some Muslim Egyptians, some Muslim custom officers that they wanted to check the goods. And the tricky way to steal the body of San Marco was to put the body under pork fat. So the Muslim official, customs official, are like disgusted not because of the body, but because of the pork fat. And that was explaining how the tricky smugglers, more than merchants, I would say, stole actually the body of San Marco. Then they bring it back and they built this beautiful church just to host the holy, the patron saint of Venice, San Marco. Let me go a bit, let me zoom out. It's very impressive, it's very huge, also hard to take a picture and to take a view. We will see now another clock, similar to the one we saw in Rialto. That's even more interesting because on the top you see there is a bell and the two statues of the Moors, we call it I due Mori, so the two Moors. Every hour they are talking the bell. And below there is, of course, the lion, the winged lion, which is the symbol of San Marcos. Then there is the date. And then you have again this clock, which is with 24-hour scheme, so not 12. You see also the zodiac, so you see the lunar phases and the astral clock. And this is one of the most beautiful clocks. I would like to finish with the symbol of Venice, the symbol of San Marco, which is this lion that you can see also on the other side. Let me walk towards the two columns. So on the two columns of in front of San Marco Square facing the lagoon, you see on the right one statue with a saint fighting with a dragon. Let me go closer so you can see better. This is San Todaro, which was actually the patron saint before San Marco became the official one. And on the left, you see a lion with a wing, which is the symbol of San Marco. San Marcos used to be an evangelist, and always the lion is holding a book with a very nice word that I like to repeat every time. In the book is written, Pax Vobis Marcus Evangelistas Meus, that in Latin means, peace to you, my evangelist Marcus. And putting apart the religious meeting, I like to think about Venice and San Mark Lion giving this message of peace to the world, you know, the message of peace. So peace to you is written everywhere in Venice, and I think it's a nice message to the whole world and to the visitors that are coming here. So here we are. I think we can...
we would like to see the gondola rides.
I can conclude here the gondola rides. Let me go to the closer so we can see. Let me switch off the gondola rides. Let me see. There is a place here. I see all the gondola guys waiting, so they're not working very much because this is actually something more for foreign tourists. The local tourists probably have been already to the gondola. Let me get closer. I hope the wind doesn't affect the microphone too much because it's very fresh. It's a windy day. Let me show you the gondola. So there is a gondola stall with the flag of Venice, which is again a red flag with a lion, showing the book with the message of peace. Tourists. So these are the gondolas. Let me go closer so you can see a gondola. These are the gondolas, and this is one of the gondolas ready for some tourists. And you see the point of the gondola. There is a metal plate with a very specific shape with 6 pieces of metal. These 6 pieces are not, they have a specific meaning, and they are connected to the 6 districts of Venice. And so every gondola has this very specific plate. So in front of us, we have San Giorgio Island. Let me make a view, a panoramic view. Over there, you see Giudecca Island. And you don't see it now because there is a boat, but over there is the end of the Canal Grande with Punta della Dogana, which is now a contemporary art foundation. It's a very panoramic view. Let me see if there are other questions, because it's a lot of... So somebody, thank you, beautiful presentation, thank you very much. I would like to conduct arbitration hearings in Venice. Yeah, could be definitely a nice place to do it. I see an email, thank you for the email. Private water taxi hiring is expensive. Yeah, it is definitely expensive because, well, it's a water taxi. You, as Venetian, I took the water taxi just twice. One, because I've been to the casino with a Portuguese friend of mine. We get like 150 euro and we spend it out with the taxi to get home. So that's the only way I've been to the taxi. And another time I've been with some American friends. It was a present. We don't have, we as Venetian, we never use taxis because the water buses are very efficient. So you normally walk or you go to by water bus because you don't really need a water taxi. Okay, I think I answered all the questions. Let me see once again. Thank you to you as well. Thank you for the tour. I also enjoyed with you. And yeah, so thank you, the gondola rides. Okay, thank you very much. I'm very happy. Great. Okay.
Thank you, Valerio.
Thank you, Valerio.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. In fact,
the last
185 participants were watching this and they really enjoyed it. I can see the messages they are all saying it was very, very impressive presentation. Thank you very much. And though we could not get the feel, we could not touch, we could not smell, we could not taste, but through you, if your guide is good, we could feel everything. We could also feel the smell, the fragrance, the touch, everything. So you had been a great guide, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. And come to visit us whenever it will be possible. I'm waiting for you. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Valerio. The only thing I'll say, I'll sum up in only one word. It was a wow experience.
Wow, absolutely.
So now I request Mr. Rajan Sehgal, who is the co-chairman of our tourism committee at PhD Chamber of Commerce Industry, to kindly share his few thoughts with all the tourist lovers.
Yeah.
Over to Mr. Rajan Sehgal.
Yeah, thank you very much, PhD Chamber. It's again a beautiful platform to showcase virtual tours, when people are sitting at home from last 3 months. Thank you very much, President, for this great idea. And Gaurav Kumar ji, you are doing a great job. And I am part of this travel industry from the last almost 35 years. But in the last 3 months, I have learned a lot more how we can sell or how we can make travel for the future. But as you know, when the travel will start again, whether it's a domestic or international, it will be a totally different kind of travel. It's not that we pick up a bag and go to Rome or Paris or London. We have to think twice or 3 times before choosing a destination. So it's my humble request and my suggestion. Maybe we can sit together and work together with the tourism committee of PhD Chamber. People are now looking, Indians are dying to travel, but they will only travel if we give them some kind of a new places which are unexplored and less crowded, close to the nature. To Rome, Paris, Milan, Indians have been, the frequent traveler have been at least 3 to 4 times. But there is a nice place in Italy called Garda Lake, which is much more open and very beautiful place than Naples. Then if we come to Switzerland, instead of going to Zurich or Geneva, there is a beautiful place called Montreux, the Crag Montana. Then we have in Austria the Seefeld and the Klagenfurt area, which is unexplored and Indians have not been there. So I think, Gauravji, if we can work or you can make tours of these cities, I think Indians will see less crowd over there. It is much more open. The hotels are smaller, and these destinations will give them more curiosity to travel, because now when people want to travel within India or outside India, they want to travel to a place which is easily connected and more close to the nature, open and safe and responsible. So that's my suggestion. We can work out something more. Thank you very much once again, PhD and President, for this great idea. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sehgal, for your very, very positive remarks. Now I'll request our Secretary General, Mr. Saurabh Sanyal, to kindly propose vote of thanks.
You have to unmute.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Dr. Jatender. Good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished panelists, our President, Dr. D.K. Agarwal ji, our Chairman of the Tourism Committee, Radha Bhatia ji, our Co-Chairman of the Tourism Committee, Mr. Rajan Sehgal ji, Mr. Gaurav Kumar, the CEO of the tour headquarters, and Mr. Valerio, the guide at Venice. At the outset, I would like to thank you and congratulate you for the wonderful experience that personally I had. I can tell you, share my experience. It was a wonderful experience seeing Venice, sitting in your study room and enjoying it. And
having tea and biscuits.
And having tea and biscuits. It's extraordinary. It is amazing. I have not been experienced, or I have not been, exposed to such a virtual tour. Virtual tours, what I understood was a panoramic tour, which was constructed through a 3D, and it showed, many things. But this is a physical virtual tour with a camera, with a guide, who actually explaining, walking on the roads, showing you the bits and pieces of the shopping centers, the things which are actually happening at real time. So
live.
A totally new experience,
and also answering our questions.
Yeah.
So I had some questions which I asked. Before I profusely thank you for everything. I just wanted to know that can these tours be customized to the virtual traveler who wants to customize his cities and his places of visit, etc. So how can you do that? The guide will not be able to walk through and take you in places, or he'll have to hire a car. It will become more expensive, I believe, I guess. So there were some doubts in my mind that if somebody has to plan a customized tour, virtual tour, how does he go about it?
So yes, customizations of tours are definitely possible, and the person would need to just get in touch with us at Tour HQ, and we will customize it. To give you an example, one of the most common tours that we're doing right now is for families who've been split up because of border closures. The child may be in London, the parents may be in India, and then it's the father's 75th birthday and they want to do something special. So then they arrange a tour through us and they'll say, okay, we'll do a tour of St. Petersburg or a tour of Venice. And then the guide is told everything. And then, like for example, we had a tour of St. Petersburg where the guide arranged for a singer to sing a few songs for the family as well from the streets. So they try and do something special that's one way of customizing it, but separately, we also have situations where, like, for example, we had a traveler who grew up in Berlin, but has not been back for like 30 years. She wanted the guide to take her to the street where she grew up, and the guide was able to go and show the houses and everything. So customization is possible.
Okay, but it will certainly be a little expensive than the normal virtual.
No, not really, it's the same. It's the same.
Okay. Much less expensive than going physically, staying in the hotel and traveling. It would be much lower than that.
Certainly, sir. So with these words, I would once again like to congratulate Gaurav Kumarji, and I would like to thank Dhanendra Kumarji, our senior managing committee member, who have put us through with Mr. Gaurav, and then we could see this virtual tour. We are going to have, as advised by the president, we are going to have a number of such virtual tours, and we are going to be showcasing this to all our members who have may not have been able to join today, our former presidents, our managing committee members, and all our distinguished members with PhD Pan India. So we would like to have more, more number of interfaces with you and with different kinds of guides. And we would like to have your rate card so that we know that how much of, what are the charges if somebody has to really go around.
And how much is the discount to our PhD members?
And how much is the discount to our PhD members?
We'll work on it, sir. We are working on it, sir.
Yeah, so that we can go around the world, and while in this COVID-19, we enjoy the beauty and culture of the world across the world, sitting in our bedrooms and in our drawing rooms. Thank you, Gaurav. Thank you, President, sir. Thank you, Senior Vice President, sir, if he's there. Thank you, Mr. Multani, our Vice President, sir, if he is there. Thank you, Dr. Jitendra and your team for putting this all together.
And thank you, Dhanendra Kumar.
Once again, to all of you, and thank you and Jai Hind.
Jai Hind.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay. Thank you, Gaurav ji.
Bye-bye. See you again.
Bye.